Looks like Bob's going to call at 8:40, so we can anticipate some fun there. He texted me.
Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
New Belgium Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available in West Virginia and distributed locally by wine and beverage merchants. With its toasty and biscuit-like malt flavors blended perfectly with hoppy freshness, it's bound to become one of your new favorite craft beers. Fat Tire Amber Ale is now available at local retailers. Please don't drink and drive and drink responsibly. From your friends at Wine and Beverage Merchants.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gellner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at gellnerlaw.com.
We'd like to help.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for you Thursday. Under mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sunshine, a daytime high near 68 degrees. You'll see a chance of a few passing showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two through the overnight with a low of about 48 degrees. With a high near 58 degrees, it's likely to see a few showers and storms around for your Friday. Keep the umbrella handy going into the weekend. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
It's 48 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 47 here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 47 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Some fog floating around out there, slightly overcast as well. Going to be cloudy during the day, as you heard Darnell say. Some rain will begin probably late evening, 8 o'clock-ish or so. Showers will continue overnight, but looks like Brother Biff will get his golfing in, hopefully, before the rain comes. That's a good thing on Thursdays. Rain will continue through the day tomorrow, particularly in the morning tomorrow. Full forecast not far away here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Where have we been and where are we going? Talking about the paranormal today with Halloween not too far away. Do you believe in ghosts? What about vampires, werewolves, aliens visiting the planet? New survey says a lot of us do believe in those things. We've been talking about it. I'm welcoming your input on the phone line at 304-232-8255 or the text line at 304-214-1600. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you think Bigfoot is out there? Are werewolves coming to bite your neck? Or what do you think? Did aliens come down from outer space in flying saucers? I'm curious your take on it. You can share it with me on the text line, or you can give me a call if you would like to. A local author has written a mystery story set in Wheeling in the 1800s. It's full of real-life Wheeling history, as well as being a fictional murder mystery. Chuck Woods is with us later on this morning to talk about his book and what prompted him to write it and the process and so on. Chuck has written a number of books before, but they've all been science-based books. So now we'll talk about the murder mystery. Parental leave is gone from Biden's Build Back Better bill. So is the so-called billionaire tax gone. Senator Manchin at the center of the changes. We'll look at what's left after these things are gone. Ohio County's school superintendent worried some state legislators may try to shorten the school year. Meanwhile, conversations continue about a later start time for Wheeling Park High School. No decisions on that. I just want to say conversations continue. Plus, hot dog candy canes. Oh, yeah. Hot dog candy canes. You got to be kidding me. There's a new Buzz Lightyear movie coming out for Toy Story fans. And it's going to be different than the Buzz Lightyear that we've come to know and love from the Toy Story movies. And what kind of tips do Hooters girls make? We've been talking about that this morning. So I've got all of that for you. Other things are coming up as well. Again, if you have something for me, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, the Watchdog Radio Network text line. Feel free to use it or to call me on the CityNet hotline. Your Thanksgiving dinner is going to be more expensive this year. In fact, some folks are saying it could be the most expensive Thanksgiving meal in the history of Thanksgiving meals. Probably not counting the people who died and stuff back during the original Thanksgiving. I mean, but in terms of cost of the meal, New York Times, Steve from St. C loves it when we do this kind of stuff, figure out how much it all costs. He just gets, why do we care about that? New York Times reports that nearly every component of our Thanksgiving dinner is going to cost more this year because the price of so many things is going up. And what are they going up because of? The supply chain issues that we have spent almost every day talking about one way or another. Supply chain is backed up. Transportation expenses are high. Labor shortages are out there. Bad weather and inflation are factoring into this as well. New York Times notes the biggest expense of your Thanksgiving meal, obviously, is going to be the turkey, and that may well be the biggest increase in products that you will find. The price per pound of your turkey will probably, the current record price is $1.36 per pound of turkey. It's likely to go higher than that this year. The price increase in turkey, it's funny how everything works together. You know, sometimes you got to think about all this stuff. The price per pound in turkey is attributed to the price of corn going up because commercial turkeys are fed corn. The corn costs have more than doubled in price in some places nationwide. So be prepared. This year's Thanksgiving dinner could be the most expensive Thanksgiving dinner you've ever had. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do for Thanksgiving dinner in the Monroe household. I told you earlier, each member of the family has done a lot of renovation work in their house this past year. And as a result, the dining, like my daughter-in-law's dining room, my son and daughter-in-law's dining room, Teddy's parents, has been turned into an office, a dining room. We don't really have a big enough table for our entire family anymore, or a place to put them. Last couple of years, it hasn't been a big deal because we've been on pandemic patrol, so we haven't had everybody over, so we got to figure that out. And I haven't found anybody that is serving Thanksgiving dinner for large groups that isn't already booked. We've been looked at booking a cabin at Ogilvy or at Grandview Park. You can't get those until 2022 or 2023. We may just go get a turkey leg and eat it on the steps or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's a look at your Thanksgiving prices this year. 8:16 Watchdog Morning Show for a Thursday. Something called Honor Your Hometown was launched earlier this week. You would have seen this on some of the major network programs. CBS Mornings did that. Our friends at the Big Seven carry CBS Mornings. The Today Show, you may have seen it. Other national and regional media carried coverage about Honor Your Hometown. More than 150 celebrities and leaders in the arts, history, culture world, mayors across America are getting together to honor their hometowns. People like Dolly Parton, even the late General Colin Powell is taking part of this. Garth Brooks, Kristen Chenoweth, the Broadway star. And what's interesting is this thing got its start, this concept that's now become a big nationwide story, got its start from a West Virginia native, Dan McGinn from Nitro, West Virginia. And he's with us here this morning. Dan, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you today?
So where did this idea come from? You just sitting around one day and said, I love my town and I got to let people know about it?
Well, you're not far off. I had thought about this for some time. I'd been in conversations with Ken Burns and Country Music Hall of Famer Marty Stewart, looking for an idea that could give people something positive to think about, something to be a little hopeful about. And I took a walk. I actually live over in Charlestown, West Virginia right now. And my wife and I took a walk one morning, and we purposely went downtown and just walked every street back and forth, telling each other stories about our hometown. She's from a little town in Texas, and I'm from Nitro, as you said. And I stopped on the sidewalk, and I said, we need a campaign to honor your hometown. And I did that in July.
And how did that grow into this big nationwide deal? You said you talked to Ken Burns about it.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I stopped in my tracks and just thought, surely there must be days to honor hometowns in America. And,
well, for God's sake, Dan, we've got days that honor everything. I mean, we honor the taco, and we honor the margarita, and we honor National Tom Tom Day, whatever, right? Where's the hometown day?
You are so right. I mean, I looked. We have a name your car day in America. We have a handbag day. And we looked, there is no day to honor hometowns. And it just, it seems like a huge, huge void. Look, people can think this is a small idea, but we think it's really significant. What we find, look, we're all so sad, so tired, so exhausted by the news. We want something to be positive about. No one wants to be lectured. So the most innovative thing here with Ken Burns is we decided, rather than telling people anything, we'd listen and invite people across the country to tell us. And General Colin Powell was the first person we approached. He agreed immediately. He said he loved it. And General Powell talks about, well, I didn't really have a hometown, but I had a home street, Kelly Street in the Bronx. And then we went to Dolly Parton, and she starts singing to us about her Tennessee mountain home in Sevierville, Tennessee. And from there, it was just one after the other after the other. It's an extraordinary effort. And West Virginia, if I could just say, is all over this. We not only have, the city of Nitro did one for me. They were on the evening news with a little restaurant there called Deals, where they show a fabulous piece of pie, and they say, wouldn't you like to come here and see Nitro and have this pie? But we have Bill Danoff, who was one of the co-writers of Country Roads Take Me Home. It's the 50th anniversary of that song, and he tells the story of writing the song and plays a little bit for us. The mayor of Charleston did the first video by a mayor for us. Mayor of Huntington did it. And so West Virginia is at the center of this, and it should be. It's a place where hometowns are revered and respected.
Although a lot of our hometowns are not what they used to be, Wheeling is my hometown, but it's not
Amen.
The same Wheeling as I grew up in. Still, I think hometowns are, and I guess this is the point of what got you thinking about it, there's still a unifying thing for us. I mean, I think, I can fight, and I do, with people about politics or about the vaccine or about sports teams or whatever. But when we sit down and start talking about growing up in Wheeling, as an example, or growing up or living in our hometown, going to the center market or whatever, kind of all those differences sort of fade away, and we just all have the same kind of feelings about our town.
Well, I mean, that is the essence of it. And Ken says it best, that it's a reminder to all of us that those things we have in common, those values and those experiences, are far greater and more important than the things that divide us. And it's true, when you talk to people and you get them talking about their hometowns, you see their defenses drop, their hostility recede, their anxiety about, I'm going to be in a conversation that's confrontational, and they smile and they start talking about whether it's their church or their school or a parade or a deli or a diner or some memory that they have, and their face lights up. And it's that. Look, we're not dismissing these differences. We're not trying to trivialize them in any way, but we're saying we need to remember that we are, that we are, there's no them in America. There's just us. And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
And so we had representatives from all 50 states. We have the Red Cross and Habitat for Humanity. We have the Smithsonian, the Statue of Liberty. We have the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. And they made a beautiful video saying that he represents every hometown because he could come from any hometown. So it's this sense of America telling a story about unity through its hometowns.
I was looking over some of the notes that I have about this. I guess the Yogi Berra Museum took a little humorous approach to it, huh?
It's so great. Look, we decided you can't be all serious here. So we have the Bobblehead Museum, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Yogi Berra's son and granddaughter are in his museum, which is a wonderful place in New Jersey, and it's about baseball, but it's also about reading in Montclair, and they run through the exhibits and tell you a little story about each of the hometowns associated with Yogi, and then they have a Yogiism at the end. So it's just fun. The National Basketball Hall of Fame got into this, and we were getting tweets from Magic Johnson and Patrick Ewing and other Hall of Famers honoring their hometowns. Broadway got into this. We have the Grammy Museum. We have Oscar winners, Grammy winners, Tony winners, Emmy winners, Pulitzer winners, Medal of Freedom winners, all participating in this project, plus just great little hometowns.
Dean, do you ever stop and say to yourself, or say to your wife maybe, because I think you said she was with you on that street corner when you thought,
Right.
we ought to do something. Do you ever look around and go, how the heck did this happen from us standing on a street corner talking about our hometowns?
Yeah, I mean, and it was 2 months ago when we said to people, people think there's some big, I can tell you the funniest question we always get is, well, who's behind this? And we say, well, we wish somebody was behind it, but it's just us. There's no money. There's no organization. We said to people, there are only three things here that we require. It's nonpartisan. It's inclusive. Everybody's welcome. Tell your story. And it's volunteer. And we did it in 2 months. We had about 70 million media impressions, social media impressions, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. We're in shock. And, we think it's also a story that can just keep on going. It's what we really want. West Virginia has the distinction of being the state that started Mother's Day. And I've always had this thought that West Virginia needs to find some things that are positive where it could be a leader. And over in Charlestown was the place where we started rural free delivery of mail. Well, why not West Virginia be the state that leads this effort, a unity effort in the country to create an annual national celebration for hometown? Sounds like a good idea to me.
I like the concept. What is it exactly you want to do with this? I mean, just are you looking to have an Honor Your Hometown Day all across the country, or are you looking to just get these stories told and retold, or to have communities come around each other? And I mean, I don't know, what is the goal here? Or maybe there isn't one. Maybe that's the point of it, not really a goal. But what do you hope this turns into, or how do you hope it ends up?
Well, I actually, as we got into it and started talking to people, we do have the idea and a dream that we could build momentum for a national day. Now, we want to be careful because we don't want to get into a fight that, is it a holiday? Is it going to cost money? Is it going to cost businesses or government? We want to figure out a path where we avoid that again, because we're trying to be nonpartisan. But it just seems to me we should have a tradition in this country, and it's why, rather than calling it a day or a campaign, we tried to call it a celebration, that we should have that. And we think October is a good time to do it. But I can just tell you, we've got emails from school groups across the country. Can they tell the stories of their towns? Nitro is going to take the lead and pass the first resolution to say they want a national day of celebration. And, we think this thing is going to just keep on going. We'll see.
I love the idea. Again, we tend to think of them small towns. I like the Colin Powell story because Colin Powell says, well, he grew up in a large town, or grew up in the Bronx, but his street was his hometown. I mean, everybody has a hometown, no matter how big a city or small a town you came from. there is something that identifies that region, that neighborhood, that hometown that is hometown to you. I like that Colin Powell comment, because you don't just have to grow up in rural West Virginia or a farm in Iowa or something to have a hometown. Everybody has a hometown one way or another. So I really kind of like that. You know, my wife watches the Hallmark Channel all the time. I don't know if you do or your wife does or not, but and what I always comment on is they all focus around small hometowns and how the big city people come to a small town and they go, I like the small town better. I like the hometown better. America is yearning for a return to the days of their hometown, I think. I mean, I really do believe that. We're yearning to get back to that day where we all knew each other, we all talked to each other, you know, that concept of hometown, small town. So I think this is, you're just right, your timing is just perfect. You're just right down the alley on this. I think it's just great.
Well, Marty Stewart, who's a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, and his wife, Connie Smith, another member of the Hall of Fame. You know, look, I'm old enough. The Wheeling Jamboree was a big deal. And I have such fond memories of Wheeling. They did two absolutely beautiful, fabulous, gorgeous videos on this. And, you know, Marty's line is, look, everything begins with a song in his field. And what he said is, you know, you've written a song here. And it's just, you know, that 2 minutes that people get, they understand. And you're right, whether it's, you know, we wanted to make clear this is not about small town or rural. It's not about north or south. Everybody's in. You can be in New York City and Chicago. Look, we had the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Houston, the mayor of Las Vegas, San Diego, Philadelphia, Boston. They all told their stories, which are beautiful. But what we're looking for is that connection with each other, something that we share, something where we feel connected to other people and where we're hopeful. And that's not small town or big town. That's everywhere.
That's right. I like that. Now, you mentioned my friend Amy Schuler Goodwin has done something for Charleston. I think you said Steve Williams down in Huntington. Has the city of Wheeling participated yet, or do I have to kick Glenn Elliott's butt a little bit to get him going on something for this?
Go get him. And you know, we want to say to people again, because this was just a volunteer effort, they said, well, you know, how'd you get so-and-so? Well, we just asked them. And why don't you have so-and-so? Well, we didn't have time to, you know, we decided, let's spend a few weeks and see what we get. Well, we got so many, and, you know, we're sort of overwhelmed. But we made it clear when we announced this is not the announcement of some completed project. It's the announcement of a start. It's not a moment. It's a movement. And we're hoping to get mayors and groups and organizations all over the country to do this. And I would love nothing more than to have Wheeling in. You know, can I tell you one quick story?
Oh, well, I just want you to be clear. We're going to take care of that. Mr. Mayor, the mayor listens a good bit. Mr. Mayor, you need to get involved in this. And if not, I'll be calling you out more often than not. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. I love history. And I wanted to make history represented here. They read a letter in Mount Vernon from George Washington about what his home meant. There's a Thomas Jefferson impersonator who does it in front of Monticello. Harry Truman's grandson talks about how much Truman loved independence, but how he was the last president who could lead a normal life after the presidency. And he talks about a fellow whose car broke down in front of Truman's house, and he knocked on the door because there's no Secret Service when Truman was former president. And Truman invited him in, and the fellow called to get a repair truck, and as he was waiting, they chatted, and then when the truck comes, he's leaving, and he says to the president, I'm sorry, sir, but I hope I don't offend you, but you sure look like and he uses an expletive, that Harry Truman. Harry Truman says, well, I'm sorry, I hope I don't offend you, because I am that expletive, Harry Truman. And he tells that story for us. It's just sweet and fun. And we try to just have this, you know, representing all different aspects. And, you know, Wheeling, I love Wheeling. I love the story of Wheeling. I love the history of Wheeling. And we'd love to have Wheeling represented in this.
A couple of real quick questions, Dan, before I let you go. Where does all this stuff reside? If our listeners want to see some of this or learn more about it, do you have like a Facebook page or a website, or how do people go and learn and see more about this? First of all, see some of these things.
Well, see, if I had been more oriented towards selling this, I'd have told you up front, so thank you for asking. The easy thing for people to do is to just go to honoryourhometown.com.
Okay, honor
And
your hometown.
you're going to see an absolutely amazing array of videos. Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood tell a story back and forth about who has the best hometown, and then Garth says, we should focus on, what ties us rather than what divides us. Dolly Parton, as you mentioned, and Colin Powell. There are just so many sweet, wonderful videos, and we encourage people to look and then make your own video and post them.
And that's my question. How do people get involved? Just can they get more information about getting involved about taking a video and so on that website? Is that a good way? Is that a good place to start?
Yes. Yeah, and we want people, make a video about your town. We've had school groups write in and say they want to go and tell a story about their town. We've had mayors and celebrities and entertainers tell us that they want to tell their stories. So we're encouraging people to make your video, post it, and ask your mayor or your council or your church group to post a video. There is something here. I really appreciate the way you've approached this. There is something here that connects us. There is a yearning for this, and we think we should encourage it and support it. But most important for me, I'm just proud for West Virginia to be at the center of it.
Yeah, it's a great idea, though, and I think it is a unifying thing in a disorganized, disunified world of ours. Dan, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for joining us to talk about it today, and I'll go out and kick the mayor's butt and make sure that the city of Wheeling gets something out and get involved in this because they need to be there. So, and our other local communities, too, I should say that as well. Dan, thanks for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much. All
right, have yourself a great day. Dan McGinn is from Nitro originally. He is, let me say, from South Charleston now, I think he said. Anyway, he's kind of the spark plug behind this whole thing called Honor Your Hometown. And if it sounds familiar, you may have seen it profiled on the Today Show, on CBS Mornings this week, written up in USA Today. You heard him with this long list of people who were involved in it, Colin Powell, Kristen Chenoweth, Dolly Parton, Marty Stewart, many mayors and so on. But we got to get Mayor Elliott involved. I have to go and kick his butt a little bit. He can promote the walkable city. All right, very good. 8:34, 26 till the hour. We are the Watchdog Morning Show. Dan mentioned history. In the next hour, we're going to talk about history with Chuck Woods, who you probably know best as a scientist. He's been on the show and gets a lot of publicity being involved as a scientist, work with NASA, and so on. But he has written a book, a mystery novel called Wheeling 1850. It is set in, cleverly enough, Wheeling in the 1850s. And it's a mystery novel with lots of local history built into it. We'll talk to Chuck about that in the next hour of the show. I'll talk to you coming up next, if you'd like to, at 304-232-8255 or on our text line at 304-214-1600. We are the Watchdog Morning Show for a Thursday.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Now it's time for your local...
Manchin continues to disagree with his party's economic plans. Today, he told reporters he doesn't believe in a so-called billionaire tax to help pay for the infrastructure bill. Manchin made his comments as the party is still trying to agree over $1.75 trillion in social programs and climate change spending. He's in favor of a 15% flat tax, saying that the wealthiest Americans have a, quote, patriotic duty to contribute to American spending. Now let's look at your headlines. Have a great day.
Mountaineer offensive coordinator Jared Parker talks about that challenging Iowa State defense. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger.
Kroger knows this year the holidays are doubly important, so make your celebrations doubly special with fresh, never frozen, prime grade beef and Simple Truth organic Brussels sprouts. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Double specialness, void where prohibited. Certain restrictions. Wait, stop illegal. We've got even more special holiday food, like delicious king crab legs with private selection gourmet potatoes, or cave-aged Murray's cheese, and fresh baked La Brea bread. Kroger, fresh for everyone. All right, legal. You're up. Double specialness, void where prohibited. Certain restrictions may apply. Shop at participating stores for more details. 42 million Americans struggle with hunger, yet 35% of the food in this country is wasted. Those aren't just numbers. They're our neighbors, your daughter's friend from school, the family of 4 next door. The Kroger Company's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation is committed to making fresh food accessible to all by ensuring it never goes to waste. Together, we can help end hunger. Learn more at zerohungerzerowastefoundation.org.
The Jet Sweep Series has become a big part of college football. Slot receivers line up and go in motion just prior to the snap. The ball is then snapped and they receive the football. Basically, it's an end around. Normally for West Virginia, it's Winston Wright or Sam James getting the opportunity. But last week against TCU, it was Bryce Ford Wheaton. Mountaineer offensive coordinator Jared Parker explains why.
We've got some capable runners with it, but I think that it was. Plus, he is having a year and progressing very good and becoming an A-plus player. And as he grows and becomes an A-plus player, certainly it makes us smart to continue to find ways to get him the ball the way he does good with it. And he is a really good vertical runner. After he sticks his foot in the ground and gets it vertical, he's big and hard to tackle. So it's good business for us to find ways to get it to him, to be even like late in the game there, you saw him carry the guy and step out of just a common little now screen that Winston strained on and got him some room, and he stepped out of it. So a lot of it's just continuing to find the best ways to get our guys the ball with what they do well.
As for Iowa State's defense this Saturday, Parker says he knows all about the guy that calls it all.
They are sound in everything they do. I've talked about it before, but John Haycock, their defensive coordinator, is honestly a good friend, and I got a chance to work with him for a year at Purdue, which seems like too many years ago, but I know he is. He is a great man. He's a great family dude. His son's going to be a great coach. His wife and daughter are awesome, which probably even pisses you off even more, but they're awesome. And he is a proven winner and plays a great brand of football, and his personality, you can see it through their defense. So, you've got to be, in some ways, you got to plan to be just as stubborn as him, because that's what he does well.
Mountaineer coordinator Jared Parker. That's today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10 o'clock right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Talk Line. I have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting us in West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
We're a farm store, a family store, a look what I found store. We're a store made for real people and some real beasts. We're a hey neighbor kind of store and an everyday low price store. We're Rural King, and we're working hard to be your favorite store. Check out the huge selection of men's, women's, and kids' Wrangler clothing at the lowest prices every day, like these Wrangler Retro Bootcut jeans for just $49.99.
Want to buy your own home but think you can't afford it? What if you got down payment assistance or a discounted interest rate just for being a recent college grad, teacher, nurse, or veteran? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency offers this and more, and our programs are always available for eligible Ohioans, big city, small town, and everywhere in between. Find out if you qualify at myohiohome.org. That's myohiohome.org. Home ownership, ready when you are.
Babies come with lots of decisions.
Cloth or disposable? Crib or bassinet?
So when it comes to protection, Go with the safest, most effective choice, vaccination. Get all the recommended vaccines for your baby by age 2 to protect your child against 14 serious childhood diseases. For more reasons to vaccinate, talk to your child's doctor. Go to cdc.gov/vaccines or call 800-CDC-INFO. A message from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Does your company's website work for you? Is it helping attract new clients and improving your brand awareness? If not, or you don't know, contact the team at Omni Strategic Technologies. With expert web developers, they build amazing web experiences that help their clients perform better. Contact Omni at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
$3.5 trillion. That's the cost of the reckless spending plan President Biden and the Washington extremists are rushing through Congress. Their socialist plan will bankrupt America and force West Virginia taxpayers to foot the bill for abortions, even painful late-term abortions. Thankfully, Senator Joe Manchin is standing strong, opposing this reckless spending spree and taxpayer-funded abortions. But Senator Manchin is under enormous pressure from Washington liberals to cave to their extreme agenda. Biden and Pelosi are intent on forcing West Virginians to pay for abortion on demand, even up to the moment of birth when babies can feel excruciating pain. West Virginians need to thank Manchin for standing strong. Call Senator Joe Manchin at 202-224-3954. Thank Manchin for opposing Biden and the socialists in Congress. Tell him to stand strong against their plan to bankrupt America and force West Virginians to pay for abortions. Paid for by Susan B. Anthony List.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together we will get through this.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands is the perfect place to relax after a long day. Happy hour from 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Get $2 off appetizers, $3 off domestic drafts, and house wine specials. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA. Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands with another steal of a deal.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Active duty military and first responders. Quaker Steak and Lube, voted Best Wings USA.
Keep up with the ever-changing world of sports all night long. Sports Map Radio is on the Watchdog, FM 98.1, AM 1600.
And the Nailers with the most dramatic of victories. 5 seconds left, they score.
Nailers hockey is coming back, and so should you. Join us for opening night, Saturday, November 6th. Puck drops at 7:10 at West Banco Arena. Kick the night off with a pre-game fan fest with inflatables for all ages, plus post-game autographs. And each fan takes home a magnet schedule. Gotta get back to the excitement of Nailers opening night. Buy your tickets now. Call 304-234-GOLD or go to WheelingNailers.com.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest news, show updates, podcasts, alerts, and live video streams from the Valley's only network dedicated to local, community-driven talk radio, The Watchdog.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Temperature hasn't changed much all morning long. 48 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 47 here at the home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. And 48 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Hit a high today of 65. Cloudy skies most of the day. Rain coming in late this evening, probably, Aaron says, in the 8 to 10 o'clock range tonight. Rain tomorrow, heaviest in the morning. Cloudy and rainy for the next several days, at least up to Halloween, All Hallows Eve. 13 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Our friend Bob is with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Howard. How are you this morning?
Let me check. All my parts are in place. How about you?
Not too bad. Hey, I got to ask you before we get into it. When you were talking about Hooters, you did say nice tips, right?
I just never, ever should have brought that up.
You were catching a lot of heat. I thought you said tips, but I wasn't sure about the response.
Yes. I got a text here a minute or two ago. Says, Howard, maybe you should take your family to Hooters for Thanksgiving.
Well, you know, there was that time in D.C. you kept dropping money on the floor and stuff, getting that one girl, but you might not want to talk about that. All right, we'll move on. You know, this isn't sour grapes. This is just the truth.
And I suppose I should mention this, and this is true. This is honest truth. At one time, I looked into seeing if we could get a Hooters franchise in Wheeling. I thought about opening up a Hooters here. We were too small a town. We were too small a town to do it, so they didn't want to do it. But I looked into it. I was a younger man then, Bob. You know, things were different in my life.
I've never been a huge fan. I mean, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, I've been in worse places, but it was never a place where I said, hey, go out of our way or let's jump in there. I just always thought it was overrated. I never really got it, but I don't know. Maybe that's just...
Well, I've been in worse places, too, and quite frankly, you've been there with me.
But we won't talk about that. Let's talk about unemployment real quick here, Howard. Again, this isn't sour grapes.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, I filed first claim in March. Things were turned around in June, deduction, okay, and then things went away completely in September. And when I called about it, I was told that West Virginia, you get 6 months, boom, that's it. So these numbers, there has to be more people than me in that situation between March and now. You know, they're unemployed. They're just not receiving unemployment benefits.
Correct.
So
you know, that's one of the points that
is,
John Deskins was making. It's one of the points John Deskins was making yesterday. You know, we have to be careful when we talk about these numbers. Unemployment numbers are based only on the things that are counted, and what's counted are people receiving unemployment checks.
Right. So
but if you're not getting a check, but you're still not working, you're unemployed, but you're not necessarily being counted in the unemployment rate.
Yeah, and again, I'm trying my best, but I don't know if, you know, soon to be 60. I don't know. That's probably not doing me any favors. You know, it's a little bit disheartening that you have these billboards, which I applied to all of them, and nobody's called me back. But okay, so I don't really know for sure why. They don't call me and tell me why they're not going to hire me, but I would assume my age right now isn't doing me a lot of favors, but I can't do anything about that.
You're a tad too young. Again, going back to the interview we had yesterday with John Deskins from WVU, in the last couple of years, there have been a lot of people who have retired early. Now, you get hit 62 to at least get something from Social Security, but a lot of people who expected to work 5, 6, 7 more years decided, because of the pandemic and losing their jobs, not having one and having a hard time getting back, they would just go out of the workforce early and retire. You're in that bad period, no offense, sir, but in that bad period where, you know, you're old enough that there's going to be ageism involved when people are looking at you as a potential candidate, but you're not old enough to collect Social Security in.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is, and I'm not crying about it, but again, I'm kind of excited, kind of like, and I was with you at the time when table game first started picking up steam, and I wanted to jump into that. I was successful with that. With this cannabis operation, I would love to be in from the groundwork up, you know, setting up greenhouses, being a plant physician. I think I'm smart enough to do that. I couldn't, you know, nurse you back to health, but I think I could do pretty well in a greenhouse. Maybe I'll get that opportunity. I don't know, but you know, I'm out there trying.
Bob, that's a little like me owning a bar.
Well, Howard.
It may not be the best.
Well, at least they won't hold it against me. I don't think so.
Yeah,
So
I get you. I get
and you know what? I really can't work a 12 to 16-hour shift, or do I really want to? So, again, we'll see how it works. I wanted to ask you this. So when someone asks you what your hometown, you say Wheeling?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
See, I say Elm Grove.
What do you say, Elm Grove? Elm Grove.
I'm proud to be from Elm Grove. Well, I'm from Elm Grove. You're from Elm Grove. You say Wheeling.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess if someone asked me what's my hometown, I'd say Wheeling. I am proud to be from Elm Grove. I was prouder to be from Elm Grove before the interstate went through, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I barely remember that, but yeah. So, kind of playing catch up here. And about the aliens, Howard, I think common sense should tell all of us that the Egyptians might have been smart, but they weren't that smart. So go back to the pyramids, go back to Stonehenge. It all had to be for a reason. When they talk about angels coming out of the sky, that was their interpretation of aliens coming out of the sky. Probably. Don't you think that makes sense?
I think that's very possible. Yes. I think it's very possible.
There. It's there, Howard. How did it get there? Why did it get there?
Well, maybe they were smarter than we thought, but I think it's very possible. Or a lost, I don't know. I spent too much time in my youth with all of these weird things. Was there a lost civilization? Was there a civilization that really had advanced itself dramatically on Earth that got lost? I mean, they built the pyramids and they did Stonehenge. They did great things, and then they lost. Like Atlantis, they sunk into the sea. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
that
nobody ever talks about this, but, when they said, well, what happened? We know the dinosaurs were here. What happened to the dinosaurs? Well, maybe the aliens come down and said, the hell with these guys. We're going to kill the dinosaurs, and maybe something will grow here, kind of like a greenhouse effect.
Listen, I'm not going to discount anything. I think we kind of decided the asteroids sort of destroyed the dinosaurs, but who knows?
Maybe that was big game hunting for the aliens. They came down here and hunted dinosaurs, killed them all off, Howard.
It's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. Maybe they just said, oh, these things look like they'd be good to eat.
We'll go on safari. We'll go down
Honey, I got us
Earth.
some dinosaur steaks.
Yeah.
Had to go to Earth to get them. I'll be back in a couple of billion years.
And they're all gone. And you were asking about ghosts. I don't necessarily. I do think there are ghosts. I really think that there are places that are haunted. And so if you believe that, I think you have to believe that there are some sort of ghosts. And with YouTube and stuff now, I don't think these people are lying when they tell stories of their children talking to old people. And there is no old people there. And the kids really see a spirit or a person. And the history of the house, and it looks exactly like the person that lived there 80 years ago. So there has to be something to this, Howard.
I agree. And again, I think it's, in 100 years, in 200 years, we will understand it. I don't think it's some, comic book mystery or some magic. I think we'll discover that this is somehow explainable. I think it's, does our soul stay around? Is there part of us that doesn't leave? Is there, what is it? I believe these things. I think there's too much happens that you can't discount it all. Whether it's flying saucers being seen, or you're right, people talking to people who aren't there, or just the strange feeling that some people get, when they walk into a room. There's something. There's something.
You know that feeling that you get, and if there was a Bible here right now, I would swear to it, and if there was a lie detector, I would pass it. I'm not a spiritual person like you. I do not go to church. But the one place that I do feel it, the one place that I do feel spiritual, and I can feel this vibe, and I go there, and I wish to find the porthole. I can feel it. I know it's there. I can't see it, is Arlington Cemetery. Yeah. That's why every time you and I go to see D.C., where do I go?
Yep, we go to the cemetery.
It hasn't changed. It's the same. But I get that sense. I get that feeling, and I know what works for me, and I feel it there, Howard. I swear to Christ I do.
The spirit of the folks are still there, somewhere, somehow.
Somewhere, it's there. I can feel it. I just can't see it.
And you probably feel the same way when we go to Gettysburg.
I never go to Gettysburg, and that's another story, but I feel it on the opposite side there. I stay the hell away from Gettysburg. I'll never go to Gettysburg.
You didn't even like to drive past Gettysburg.
I get that queasy feeling. I stay clear away from it, Howard. You have a great day.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, he believes if he goes to Gettysburg, he will die. Bob's a fun character.
Gettysburg is, if you're a history buff and you have not been to Gettysburg, Gettysburg is something to see. It will give you, among other things, chills going through Gettysburg.
It's a place where there is something there. You can't walk those battlefields or drive the battlefields or be in you can't do it without feeling something, Biff. I've said often, my family and I, my brother and I, when we were little kids, went to Gettysburg with my Aunt Margie and Uncle Bob, maybe almost every year. My wife and I stopped by on our honeymoon on the way home. We've taken our kids. Teddy's been there. It's a fascinating place. It's a fascinating place. And it's the only place where I said this the other day for some reason, I truly believe I photographed ghosts. They have, I've told the story before. We were on what they call a ghost tour. You can go on these ghost walking tours of Gettysburg, and we were on a ghost tour. And we had gone up a dark alley, and we looked at a big empty building, which is a completely empty building, dark, no lights inside, no nothing. It was dark. And the group went on, and I stayed in the alley, and I had my camera, and this was before iPhone, so they were real cameras, and I was taking pictures. And when I got the pictures processed, in the windows of that dark building where I saw nothing, there were all of these flickering lights. Hundreds of them flickering and floating around in there. It gives me chills to talk about it right now. Yeah, there's something in Gettysburg. There's no question about that. All right, we're to talk about history coming up in the next hour of the show. History as told in a murder mystery story written by a local author. That's coming up in the next hour of the show. Some entertainment news for you, including a new Buzz Lightyear movie and more, all coming up. But first, let's go to ABC. They cover the world for us here at 9 o'clock.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
All right, Chuck Wood's going to be, I don't know what time he's going to call. I've got him scheduled for 9:15, Biffy. And I'm going to go get, I think I'm coffeeed out. I think it's time for a cherry Coke. I'll be back in a minute. One.